Yo, what up everybody, it's your boy HP Maharaj, and we back out here in Newport Beach with this cool views, boats and all up here. Office is just back there, a lot of cool stuff happening. Now I just finished up work, heading out. It's a terrible morning because I forgot my laptop at home, so I had to drive back from where the Falguni Bhatta Garba was. But nonetheless, cool stuff. And now I'm going to be heading home. This is a private island right there. They got all the cool stuff happening. I think I gotta go this way. People driving around Teslas and all these cool different cars. Really cool stuff. It's a nice community, well lit and small. Yeah, so today was an okay day, working here and there. I gotta figure out now my food situation. What I'm gonna be eating at home. I think I should go try out Costco pizza, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Costco pizza? Is it good? Is it bad? Any suggestions on what to get there? And maybe I'll make a decision later this week to figure out what I want to eat. So cool stuff. We got airplanes flying above. My car is far today, which is terrible, but it is what it is. So today I'll talk about forgiveness. It's a very important concept, very important thing to embrace. Forgiveness. You have to learn to forgive people. It's very important. There's literally very little that the world and the people of the world can do without forgiveness. You have to learn to forgive people, and there will be situations where people just don't pull through. It's almost a common thing nowadays, where people are just flaking on you, but it's very important that you do that. It's important that you forgive those who make mistakes to some extent, right? Not like completely, but at least to some extent. Let me just stick this in my car, and then it'll be fine. Yeah, so forgiveness, very important concept. It's actually 100 and something degrees out there. That's why I'm sweating like a monster. Take my shoes off, turn the AC on. Shit, dude. Yeah, so anyways, it can be a little bit louder in here because nobody really, will tell me not to do anything. Probably should not be reversing here. Should we go forward and pull it in? So in either case, yeah, so there's always times in your life or in projects or teams in general where certain things just don't get done by certain individuals, or certain individuals start getting on your nerve. So there is this concept that, or there is a thought initially that, hey man, these guys are messing around, they're wasting my time, whatever not. And now what I'm gonna do is screw them, forget it, I'll move on myself. That doesn't happen in the first or second or third. You gotta be very patient, right? So that's part of what forgiveness is you gotta be patient about things. But going back to the topic of forgiveness, you gotta learn that nobody is perfect. Nobody is definitely not perfect, like it's like the chances of being perfect are zero in this world. it's just the nature of how this world is. We as humans are imperfect. There is no animal that's perfect. There's no human being that's perfect. There's no perfect anything in this world. That being said, you have to be understanding of that and empathetic for that, so that you can forgive people because they're not perfect. Everybody needs a lifeline at some point in their life. I mean, you were born on a lifeline. Your parents giving birth, it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, ask your mom, how hard it was to give birth, and then you realize it's not easy. And then for those of you who are lucky enough to be brought up by your parents in their homes and being educated by them and being fed by them, that's another lifeline for you, right? Like you can't just think of it as, I've taken it for granted that my parents have given birth to me and my parents have, done so much to me. You cannot take it for granted. And that's sort of the thing. So everybody needs a lifeline. You yourself needed a lifeline and got one for yourself. And hence, you have to pay it forward. And you have to understand this in order to pay it forward and give it to others who, will require... hang on, let me just check on this. Somebody honked at me, I think. I don't know what's happening. But either case, you have to be strong in the sense that people make mistakes and people need lifelines. And when you do forgive people, there will be a high chance that these people will come back and do an even greater job. And it's not just forgiving that's going to do the work. There's other factors that are involved in terms of planning and organizing and structuring and all those things. But at the very end, it does make a difference. So it plays a big role in helping people reach their fullest potential. So that's why forgiveness. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think that's enough about forgiveness for today. But make sure you understand that everybody needs that lifeline. Now, actually, I don't want to close it off. There's another side to this. And back to that scale, you got to balance the sides out. So on the other side of the scale on this situation would be the fact that you're so forgiving that nothing gets done, and people are just lazier and get lazier as the work is piling up. So there is some sort of limit. You just got to find it and make sure that the work is being done and the level of forgiveness is also comparable to that. So that's very important in terms of getting it all done. That's the most crucial part. There's no secret formula. I can't tell you how many forgivenesses you can give, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100. I'm not sure. You have to figure that out, and it depends based on the person's personality, the person's work ethic. So many different of these factors depend on your judgment on how many forgivenesses to give, and it might not be quantitative. It might be whatever it happens to be. So you got to learn to forgive, but at the same time have a firm stance in terms of making sure that you're not, building up lazier people. So you got to balance those out. So anyways, that's the talk for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace and love. Jai Ho to everybody. And if you have any questions, comments, put them in the description below. Any suggestions for future videos, put them in the comments below. Other than that, HP Maharaja signing out. Peace and love, everybody. Take care. Happy Tuesday, October 24th, 2017.